Hello and welcome to Thursday's programme. I'm Ellie Louise Ringe.
And I'm John T. Messer. Coming up tonight between now and 6:30. Good evening. Appledore Shipyard in North Devon is to close. The decision was announced this morning by the owners Babcock, despite a huge battle involving workers, local people and politicians to keep it open.
It'll mean the loss of 200 jobs, although the company says all will be offered what it calls relocation opportunities. 140 are already at Devonport in Plymouth.
Well, there has...
Next tonight, tributes have been paid to Laura Harris, an oncology nurse from Barnstaple who has died from cancer. Laura had raised thousands of pounds for her treatment and campaigned for a new cancer and wellbeing centre at North Devon District Hospital.
Today, she was described as an inspiration who will leave a lasting legacy. Nick Smith has the story. It's coming up to 6:10 this Thursday evening. Our next story tonight is that WH Smith's in Taunton has been ordered to pay a record fine after a woman fell through a trap door in their store.
A 64-year-old customer was looking at birthday cards when she fell 3 metres into the storage basement below, suffering serious injuries. Well, our reporter Ben McGrail is outside the store for us tonight. Ben, this is the biggest fine the company has ever faced, isn't it? Next tonight, if you used a train in the West Country today, did you get the best value for your money?
A new study says train fares are one of the biggest so-called rip-offs of modern life. But what can be done? Matt Price has the story. And still ahead on our programme, before 6:30 this evening, we'll be telling you...
And the ITV News continues with the national and international stories at 6:30. Here's Mary Nightingale with the details.
Now, today is World Vegan Day and more than a quarter of evening meals in the UK are now vegan or vegetarian, with the demand for meat-free food rising by nearly 1,000% last year, according to one survey.
Well, in a moment, we'll be talking to two nutritionists with opposing views. But first, Charlotte Gay has been to meet a Taunton family who made the switch to a plant-based diet a year ago to see how they found it. And it wasn't all plain sailing. On this, we're joined in the studio by nutritionists Linda and Rosie. Now, Linda, you yourself are a vegan, aren't you? And
yes.
Rosie, you're not against veganism, but you're not as convinced maybe of the health benefits, particularly in children. So let's start with Linda. What do you think about a family, as we've seen in Charlotte's report there, turning to completely a plant-based diet?
I would say if their vegan diet is well balanced, if it's thought through, if they have informed themselves, there's not a problem at all.
And it's a lot easier, certainly a lot easier these days, isn't it, to convert to a plant-based diet than maybe it used to be?
It definitely is. There are many more products out there. However, that's one issue. Our diet, you know, if you're eating Oreos and ice cream, that's vegan, that's not healthy.
And Rosie, just picking up on the point that Linda made there, that sort of well-balanced diet, plant-based diet, is that applicable to children? Are there some issues around that in terms of the nutrients that they're able to get, perhaps, that if they were eating meat they would be getting naturally?
Yeah, there are, absolutely. It's quite difficult to design a whole food plant-based diet that contains absolutely everything that a child needs to thrive. In fact, I would say it's actually not possible to do that without some supplementation. So whilst a really well thought through vegan diet is probably a lot better for you than what most kids eat, actually it is really, really difficult to get everything that you need. And it's also really important to consider that children can be quite fussy. I mean, I've got that age kids and it's quite difficult to get them to eat what you put in front of them.
But it's good to try, isn't it? Because you've got that sort of healthier habits, I guess, is the sort of message you could take away from it, whatever your view.
But animal products are very, very nutrient dense. So, for example, you can get all the protein that you need and lots of other really key vitamins from a piece of meat, whereas to get that from plants, you really have to think about where are these different proteins coming from, where are these B vitamins coming from, can I absorb them, you know, considering the way that you're cooking this food. And if the child then is fussy and decides not to go for that, it becomes quite problematic.
Is that something you're thinking about, Linda? How does it sort of play out in your daily kind of consideration?
My children, he's been vegetarian since he's been born. Both my children are vegetarian. They still eat some dairy, but that's their choice. So they may not be the best example. But I know plenty of vegan families, and they think, they plan, they make sure that they get everything they need. And if they need to supplement, they supplement. The problem is, you know, most people who go vegan, they go vegan for ethical reasons, and they rather supplement than eat the animal products. So that will be a big issue.
It is a subject, I mean, we're out of time, unfortunately. It's a subject that lots of pros, lots of people who perhaps are a bit more sceptical. We could talk about it for ages, obviously, and there's going to be lots of information around this. People can find a lot more information on our website as well. We'll put that on there for them. Thank you both very much for coming to talk about it.
Next tonight, salvaged Cornish fishing gear has been upcycled and made into a dress to highlight the danger it can cause to marine life.
Eco-designer Linda Thomas used nets and fishing line to make it. Grace Pascoe joined a photo shoot at the Minack Theatre in West Cornwall.
Wow, incredible dress. And it looked beautiful there at the Minack Theatre,
Absolutely
didn't it?
fantastic. And you're in luck because Kate is here with the weather forecast. Kate, we saw there, we have had a pretty lovely day right across the region. What I'm thinking about now is fireworks night. Hopefully you're going to tell us the weather's going to be OK if we're heading out.
Yeah, you might want to sort of choose your night, actually, because, of course, lots of people are looking forward to bonfire night this weekend. I do love a good bonfire, some fireworks. It's not for everyone, I know, especially my dog. But if you are going to an organised display, then, well, Friday really is probably the night. It's going to be dry and clear and with light winds as well. Saturday, however, not quite so good, and you'll find out more in the forecast in just a few minutes. But as Jonty said, it ended up being a lovely day. It didn't start that way. It was a little bit damp to begin with. So it looks like a bit of a mixed bag of weather over the next few days. And the reason behind that, well, it's ex-Hurricane Oscar heading our way. We've got a ridge of high pressure over us tomorrow. That's going to bring quite a spectacular day. But then that low pressure moves in, the isobars tighten up and that front swishes through, introducing some rather wet and windy conditions. We're back to this evening and we've seen some showers today, but they'll gradually die out and everywhere will become dry. Some long clear spells as well. And as a result, those temperatures slipping away down to around -1 in places. So it's going to be quite frosty and you need to scrape the ice off the car first thing tomorrow morning. There's going to be some fog patches maybe as well, particularly during the rush hour, but it'll soon clear. And then really, well, we'll have wall-to-wall sunshine for much of the day. Temperatures around 11 or 12 degrees. That's similar to today, but with lighter winds, it's really going to feel quite pleasant. So the tide times for tomorrow, this could be the chance for a good stroll along the beach. So do take note of the times of high water. Portland at 1:30 in the morning and then 13:52 in the afternoon. So after that, Saturday, as I was saying, not great for fireworks and bonfires, I'm afraid. Looking rather cloudy, wet and certainly quite windy. Now, it's drier on Sunday and the winds ease off as well, but there's going to be a fair bit of cloud around. But it is also going to feel quite mild over the weekend if you are out and about. Temperatures around 13 or 14 degrees. And then as we start next week, cloudy with patchy rain at times.
Kate, thanks very much indeed. Now, before we go, let's remind you of our top story here in the West Country this evening and Appledore Shipyard in North. That's it from all of us. I will be back to bring you the late news, though, at 10:30.
Now we'll hand you to Mary Nightingale as the ITV News continues. Whatever you're up to, enjoy your Thursday evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.